Penguin Audio presents Angler, The Cheney Vice Presidency by Barton Gellman. Read by Brian Keith Lewis. Chapter 1. A Very Short List. Frank Keating reached for the telephone on a desk the size of a Cadillac sedan. He was the picture of a governor in command, the first Republican to break the Oklahoma jinx on re-election. Working oil rigs outside his window, drilled right there on the Capitol grounds, living relics of the old frontier exuberance, pumped cash into a booming state economy. Keating had big plans for the second term, not least the construction of a brand new dome atop the Greco-Roman State House. And now here came Dick Cheney on the line. Truth was, Keating had been half expecting the call. The week before, a Dear Frank note had arrived from George W. Bush. Keating's Texas neighbor had locked up the Republican presidential nomination on Super Tuesday, besting John McCain in 6 of 10 states. Now Bush wanted advice on a running mate. "One of the most important decisions I will make this year," he wrote on May 18, 2000. A form letter, Keating knew. The newspaper said Bush sent one to every big name in the GOP. And yet, Keating could not help but tally his prospects. He was 56 years old, telegenic, and tough and going places. Bush admired the way Keating handled himself in 1995, when homegrown terrorists in a Ryder van blew up the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building across town. The two men had a friendly football rivalry, liked to bet on Sooners-Longhorns games, and watched each other's back in national politics. Bush supported Keating to chair the Republican governors. Keating endorsed Bush for president early on. More than endorsed him. Keating vouched for Bush with right-to-lifers who needed the reassurance, and he delivered his Oklahoma political machine. All that and the right kind of resume. Special agent in the FBI, U.S. Attorney, senior posts in Washington at Treasury, Justice, and Housing. True, Keating did not offer a whole lot of balance to the ticket. He was an oil state fiscal conservative, hawkish on the death penalty and union-busting right-to-work laws. Too much like Bush, most probably. Still, a person might wonder. Cheney dialed the call himself. A lot of people liked that in a man of his rank, the sense that he refused to take on airs. The habit had other aspects. Cheney was chairman of a Fortune 500 company and had been a war-winning Secretary of Defense. Phoning unannounced had a way of catching people off balance, depriving them of that hold-please moment to collect their thoughts. Aides said Cheney liked a glimpse at an unstudied interlocutor on the other end of the line. When Keating picked up, Cheney said his piece without preamble. "The governor would like to have you be considered as running mate," he said. Cheney let the statement hang, in that disconcerting way of his, stopping before the other person quite expects. Keating found nothing to read in the man's flat, clipped tone. He waited a beat, then probed. "Dick, I don't really do anything for you all," Keating said, thinking Cheney might add a word or two. Cheney chose to take that as a question of geography. "No, it doesn't matter," Cheney said. "Oklahoma and Texas. You may be joined by a border, but that is not a factor to us. Would you be willing to fill out all the paperwork?" Indirection was getting Keating nowhere. He decided to ask flat out. Was this just a friendly gesture, or was Bush serious? Before running for governor, Keating had been through FBI background checks and 4 Senate confirmation hearings. He knew, or thought he did, what it meant to hand cool-eyed strangers the keys to every lockbox in his life. He did not care to go through that again without good cause. "I want you to know the list is a very short list," Cheney replied. People would talk about all kinds of names, Cheney said matter-of-factly, but most of them would be decoys. 3, maybe 4, were genuine. Keating's was one of those, Cheney said. The next day a thick envelope arrived. Inside was the most demanding questionnaire the Oklahoma governor had ever seen. Keating knew Cheney, trusted him. He had helped recruit Cheney 5 years before to chair the Memorial Committee for Oklahoma City bombing victims. Later, Cheney headlined a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?